Real quick before jumping into the trailer analysis, I wanted to bring to your attention that we're trying to get this channel to reach 40,000 subscribers. We recently hit 30k and you guys have been killing it with the support as of late. So, if you love all things Glitch Productions and would love to see even more content like this in the future, please consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell so you never miss out on future uploads. Thank you all so much. The full trailer for the amazing Digital Circus episode 7 is finally here, and while it's very short at only 57 seconds long, okay, no way, that was unintentional. It still gives us a very clear idea at the direction this episode is gonna take. Right off the bat, I think my theory about the beach theme being a facade was real, because the trailer actually focuses very little on the beach itself and actually keeps glitching out repeating itself. During these moments, tons of potential lore is hinted at. Let's go over it. The first thing we see is that strange mannequin that has appeared a couple times before with no real context. It seems like he'll finally play a more significant role. More on him in just a moment, but the next scene shows us another look at Jax lying in his bed, this time with a much more disturbed expression on his face. Also, oh my gosh, the picture in the background showing Kaufmo and Ribbit, that's just gonna mess with me so much. Anyway, what is Jax looking at? Is it something to do with the Ribbit, or is it perhaps something else? Maybe the exit door? We do know that it will be making its return in episode 7, but I wonder if it will only be appearing on the beach or if it will appear in more than one location. That also begs the question, who's even seeing the door? Pomni was the one to witness it in the pilot, and she was already at her breaking point during that period, so maybe people on the verge of abstracting are more likely to see it. That's why I feel like Jax could be the one seeing the exit door. Next up, we get our first look at Caine's office. It's funny because although I figured out it was likely he had some sort of office or something to oversee everyone, it never really clicked with me that we would actually see it. No, this was probably not the same office. That was something made specifically for the restaurant adventure. Oh, and there's that mannequin again. He definitely knows something. The next scenes go by kinda quickly, but by pausing on the frames, we can see Zubul lying down, followed by Pomni and Ragatha looking at something. It's difficult to pinpoint exactly where they are due to it being dark, but if I had to guess, this is still the beach, as we can kinda see the slide in the background, and this almost looks like an umbrella. They're both not wearing their beach attire, so I assume this is either at the very end of the adventure or something happens in the middle of it that causes the lights to go out. Honestly, at this point, nothing would surprise me. Okay, that's actually a lie because this show still somehow keeps shocking me with its reveals. Like, if you told me when the pilot came out that Jax would be the likeliest one to abstract, I wouldn't have believed you at all. Anyway, moving on to this single shot of a bowl of keys. What could these be used for? Are one of these keys for the real exit door? Speaking of the exit door, in the pilot, it brought Pomni to an office space. But what if the experience is different depending on who enters it? Assuming it's Jax, what if this maze-like room is what he sees? That, or maybe it's a part of the void and Caine finally figured out what to put on the other side. But that might seem like a bit of a stretch. Okay, I can't figure out who the hell this is supposed to be, but maybe it's just that mannequin from an awkward angle. What's up with the golden hand though, and what importance could it serve? There's also a clip of Pomni talking to Kinger in a room with a red and blue button. Pomni looks distressed, and I wonder if this is also Caine's office. Those two buttons seem to be very important. I don't know if I'd go as far as to say that one of the buttons stops the game entirely, as that just seems far too simple. But there's gotta be more to it than that. Either way, I'm just happy that we're getting some more Pomni and Kinger interactions. That scene is then followed by a clip of a crystal ball showing some sort of frosted glacier with a cabin. I have no idea what that could mean. In I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream, each of the people trapped, I believe, have their own different unique experiences, so maybe we're going to be seeing a little bit more of that come into play, as we really haven't gotten to see much of that. Sure, some of the adventures have been tailored to a specific character, like for example, Gangel's adventure was based on her experience as a restaurant manager, but I want them to kind of go more in depth with that, and maybe we're going to be seeing a bit more of that here. Who knows? Back to Caine. He's glitching out once again, and it seems like he has returned to the same restaurant he was in with Bubble during the pilot. Maybe they're just reusing assets, but I feel like it's just too much of a coincidence with us also getting the return of the exit door in the same episode as well. Maybe this is just where he goes to in his off time? Maybe it's just his favorite restaurant. I don't know. That clip of Caine is then immediately followed by a mannequin with a crudely drawn smiley face on it that kind of reminds me of Ditto for some reason. I don't think this is the same mannequin we were seeing before, as this one seems more of a gray color. However, it could always just be the lighting. Next up, Jax's door finally opens. This likely takes place towards the beginning of the episode after the events of him lying in his bed occur, because I do think that's all going to take place at the beginning of the episode before the beach stuff occurs. That's just my theory though. Either way, it seems like we are finally about to see what is inside of this fucker's room. About damn time. Here we go towards the light and see another door that looks completely different from the other exit doors we've seen. I'm having such a hard time wrapping my head around this all. The trailer ends with an unfamiliar voice saying he thinks he found a way to leave.
I think I found the way to leave.
The voice didn't sound like anyone I had recognized, so if I'm being honest, I think it's the mannequin. Whether it's the mannequin that we saw in episode 5, or if it's this mannequin, assuming that they're two different characters, which I do think they are, that remains to be seen. I feel like it's more likely that it's the one from episode 5, but I do think it is one of the mannequins who does have a little bit more knowledge. Even if he is an NPC, maybe he found a true escape and is going to try and help the others escape. Regardless, I don't know how well that's going to turn out, at least for Jax. I truly want to believe in happy endings, but I feel like something is going to happen to him from what we've heard, as this episode is apparently going to piss off the right people. I'm scared.